Good afternoon and welcome to Cup of Joe. I'm Jason McNeil. Today on the show, we're going to discuss lobbying. Now, the reason I want to discuss lobbying is because I believe there's not enough outrage regarding this issue at all, especially in Ontario. Now, recently, Dalton McGuinty has signed on to be a lobbyist at Queen's Park. He'll be lobbying for a company called Desire to Learn. Now, this is a company that did about $3 million worth of business with the Ontario government last year. Now, obviously, I can see a conflict of interest in someone stepping down as an MPP and going directly into, say, lobbying for whatever it is they used to work as an MPP to promote. So, we need a cooling off period. Now, at the federal level, this cooling off period is about 5 years. Now, the reason they selected 5 years is because we have an election, presumably every 4 years. There's a very good chance the government will have been shaken up and there will be different people in different positions when you come back to the political leadership and begin lobbying for private industry. In Ontario, it's only 1 year. So, we have a guy who less than 2 years ago was not only an MPP, but he was the top MPP. He was the boss. He was the guy in control. He was the guy, if you remember, who stepped down in scandal after billions of dollars were wasted at the provincial level. Now, having stepped down in scandal, nobody in the Liberal Party seems to think that he should be punished. Nobody in the Liberal Party seems to be pointing the finger of blame. In fact, everybody in that party seems to have insulated him. Kathleen Wynne is his protege. She has nothing bad to say about him. She adores him. He's a wonderful guy. She wants to carry on his legacy. And now he'll be working for private companies, talking to Kathleen Wynne and her friends about securing bigger contracts and more money for this private company for the education system. This is something that I believe we should all be outraged about. And I have only seen very, very little, if any, outrage at all. In fact, even the Toronto Star, the liberal-friendly Toronto Star, has spoken out against the practice of having a one-year policy. And on that article, I saw 10 comments. Now, what Rob Ford had for lunch could get 560 comments in that same newspaper on those same boards. So either people are not paying attention, or it's just not getting the correct amount of airtime that it deserves. Deb Matthews would say that it's not a concern. Everything's above board. As long as people register, there's no problem. And this is the problem, right? Because it is above board to the people who are in the government, to the people who are doing this, to the people who abuse these practices. It's not above board to people like you and I, because it's inside baseball. This is why this type of article would only get 10 comments, because it's not about the person you elected. It's not even about the person you elected and the person they work with. It's about a third party coming and speaking to the person you elected. You have very little control over it, very little say in it, and quite frankly, very little interest in it. But the fact is, this is where the tax dollars are going. When you look at your check and there's tax taken away, this is where it's going, to practices like this, to people like this, to procedures like this. And it has to stop. There has to be an end put to it. So, if you do agree with me that this should be stopped, to be honest, I don't even think that anyone who's been in politics, particularly with top jobs, should be allowed to lobby at all. It shouldn't even be a 5-year period, but at least a 5 or 10-year waiting period. You want to get a job in private industry, get a job in private industry. Don't get a pretend job in private industry when it's really just still politicking with the same friends you've always had to secure money for private industry. That is not going to fly. So if you feel like I do, and you believe we need stricter rules surrounding the policy of lobbying at Queen's Park or in Ottawa for the federal government, then send your emails to your MPs and MPPs and let them know how you feel. Or email Deb Matthews personally. She's the Treasury President, she's the one in charge, and she's the one who can get action on this issue. She doesn't seem to think action is necessary, and it's our job to let her know that we feel differently. If you have an opinion on this or any other issue, please contact me at averagejoe@cupofjoecanada.com.